Another week and another market watch. We're seeing some interesting price movement across the board as we're closing in closer and closer to set two. But before we actually get into that, I want to give a shout out to one of the comments on the last video. So this comment came from Nick F, and they were saying, don't know if it's obtainable, but I'm curious to see total sales completed on some of these. Some of these dips and boosts could be due to low number of total sales. So shout out to Nick for putting that out there. If anybody else has any other ideas or comments, by all means, let me know. So I did actually go hunting. There is a way, and I'm trying to figure out an easy automated way, probably Excel doing a web query to try and scrape the data for sales within the last week for a given item. Now, for the few that I was able to spot check, we're talking usually somewhere in the realm of 100 to 200 individual cards. Some sales were for 3 copies of Vader or 2 copies of Aggression or whatever the case may be, but we did have a number of them for each individual item. Point being is that it's not that we're selling, the community, TCG Player is only selling 1 copy and therefore it's causing big movement in prices. We are seeing significant amount of cards being moved around back and forth. But with that out of the way, one other thing that I'm going to bring up before we jump in, and that is I am working on streaming more Star Wars Unlimited. My channel can be found in the description of this video, down by the like and subscribe button. Help me out. But the point is, I want to try and start streaming some Star Wars Unlimited content, try and get more onto YouTube. So let me know what you'd like to see down in the comments. I'm going to start out with gameplay and try and work it into my more regular rotation, or maybe do some bonus streams. We'll have to see. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's talk about the prices themselves. We're looking at legendaries once again, and as always, these are just plain legendaries. No foils, no hyperspace foils, no promos, that sort of thing. We're just looking at the base level. I want to build a deck. What's the cheapest way that I can acquire everything that I want to utilize? Now, we have seen some downward pressure continuing on a variety of things, such as Darth Vader, which has been the premier, oh my God, you opened one of those sort of cards since the beginning of the game. And it's dropping down to about $72, $73. Boba Fett is also moving down. Boba Fett Disintegrator specifically, of course, the unit. We're seeing a few different other things drop off. I don't know why Mace Windu all of a sudden took such a big percentage hit, but I guess everybody remembered that card's not in a great position. Notably, also Super Laser Blast is going down, as well as Avenger. So the whole hype around blue cards seems to kind of be equalizing. It'll be interesting to see if that continues, given that we had that mono blue Iden that showed up recently and other things. But things such as Aggression, maybe to fight those all those Child Sins, and Cunning, notably, are also moving back up. Now, a lot of these, I think, are starting to hit somewhat of an equilibrium for now. I talked a little bit about it last week, but I just based on, hey, there's so many of these, there's X number of these in the wild, and we're not getting a huge influx due to the very slow allocation of the remaining product before we get the reprint at the end of the year. I'm still of the opinion that we're going to see things continue to fall, especially as set 2 comes out, and then probably come roaring back after that as people recognize, hey, I want these other things, or just new people get into the game. And then, of course, supply is mostly stable, and then we have increased demand. Guess what's going to happen? So we'll see how this goes. A lot of these, just due to how legendaries work mathematically, how many of them are out there, how many are likely to be opened at a given point in time, they should have somewhat of a floor, but I mean, we're still seeing like Black One is $7. Mace Windu is $8. Maybe that floor is much lower than you might think, or maybe these cards are just terrible and nobody wants them. Let me know if you're thinking otherwise. Now, beyond that, into the rare section, as per usual, we're seeing a whole lot of red. Whole lot of red, except for some notable things sticking out, like Obi-Wan suddenly moved up a bit, but we're talking a 7-cent change. Spark of Rebellion did get a bit of a boost here. Like, it actually was comparatively a significant jump, because it's getting used in a lot of sideboards, and I think a lot of people wanted to pick up copies for whether it's their control list. We've been seeing a explosion in Yellow Sabine and a variety of other deck lists that could hypothetically feature it regularly. Not that it couldn't show up in anything. It's the way the game works. But other than that, a lot of the plain rares are kind of just slowly dropping down, slowly dropping down, slowly dropping down. That's absolutely going to happen as people get their final play sets of things. They recognize what they need or don't need. And a lot of them are probably going to need to get buoyed by something new in the second set in order to see a big jump in these. But that's kind of it for this week. Like I said, if you have thoughts on either the prices, what else you'd like to see from these videos, other videos, the live streams that I plan on doing, or anything else, hit me up down in the comments to give me some feedback. I'm always open to other suggestions. As to the original comment from last week, I could certainly try and pull this data. If I can do it automatically, I'll try and do it across the board. But if I'm going to be doing it by hand, that, as you'd imagine, just sitting there hand counting it is going to be a little bit more challenging. So if there's specific cards you want me to track, maybe we'll have to do that. And again, let me know. But that's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And tune in next time for more Random's Thoughts.